back. Maybe I'm your boy, maybe I'm not. Who knows? I consider myself a bird. We can be boys. We can be homies. Let's see. Did anybody buy anything else from there when I was. No? I always do that. I do not know why. I always do two E's on selling for some reason. My head's moving too quick or some bullshit. I don't know. I don't get it. But it happens all the time and I don't like it. It kind of pisses me off. But okay. Anyway. So Amazon comes and delivers a package to my house today, right? So dude gets out the truck. He like, yo, here's the package. I'm like, cool. He gets back in the truck and he goes to back up, and you know how they got them backup alarms, the beep 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 beep. But his is coughing. Like I ain't shitting you. It's going. It sounds like this. It goes. So I started saying, yo, bro, your van got COVID or something? I mean, like, why is it fucking coughing? And he just starts cracking up. So I've just been cracking jokes the whole time to my mother about this van. I was like, the van sounded like it was getting a hernia checkup. Call for me. Fucking. I was like, yo, the other vans didn't even want to go near it. They were like, stay away from me. Why didn't you got a mask on? Stupid. Anywho. This is my other character, and some people probably haven't seen it, but this is my other base design that I use. So I actually like the base design because I use all the porches. I call this like a, what is it? Southern Contemporary. Because the front reminds me of the columns on the old Southern homes, and then you got the contemporary section of the base, which is like a three-story um, new home design that they have, that they're building like a dime a dozen of these types of buildings with that are three stories in like Philadelphia. But in Philadelphia, people call these Father, Son, Holy Ghost homes. You know, the Trinity, because they're three stories. Which is funny because the three-story homes have a basement too, and that's actually a level. So it would be four, technically. But, you know, anyway, this is my crafting area. It's much more convenient, like getting materials and stuff like that, than my other bases, because I have all this separated by, per room. My sleeping arrangements, my little desk, the mighty bathroom. Right. Unlike other people's bathrooms you go into that they build bathrooms, where they just have a tub sitting here and then nothing else. Yeah, I do shit like that. Although I wish they would give us like a toilet or fucking something that we could put in there. Maybe not be able to use it, but you know, for aesthetic purposes, it would be nice. Anyway, so go up top. Got my oil production going, or my gasoline production going on. Put my garage up here because the garage doesn't. I mean, that don't mean shit. You can't actually jump on the bike and ride away. If it was, I would build a proper garage for it, but so I just keep it out of the way. 2 Jennies down there, and my 4 Jennies up here with Mr. Electric Eel. Right, and then just something I designed right here. Kind of like the one I have at the other base, but this is a little bit different. It's got a more alien kind of design to it, I would say. It's not just triangles going around, but you know, kind of like a ship. That's what it reminds me of, like a spaceship going that way. That's the, you know, 2 engines. I don't know why the fuck I gotta explain that, but I did. Anyway, on this character, I have everything that I can make except for crystals. I can't do crystals because I didn't choose it. I also found out something yesterday that I thought was really weird. So, I picked a skill on a new character, not this one. I picked a mastery on a new character when it got to level 5. I then crafted the object that I wanted, but I didn't want to keep that skill. So then I went back. I wrote down what skills were in that tier, like the other 3 skills that were there. When I refunded and went back into the tier, all 3 of those skills were different skills. So even when you refund your points on the same tier, right? The other 3 masteries on that tier will change to something else. So if you chose, say, your backpack on tier 3, but within that you also saw the sulfur to acid skill that you really wanted, but you wanted to just make the backpacks real quick and then refund it and then pick the other skill, you wouldn't have that skill sitting there on that line again. That skill, or it might not be there. It's RNG, so there might be 3 brand new skills there. So don't count on being able to go back, remember in the tier that a main skill was, and you want to go back and refund it because that skill is probably not going to be there. It's then RNG. So it makes it more important, even more important now, to pay attention to when you're choosing your skills and not try to anticipate being able to go back and change that because you saw it in that tier. Pay attention to your skills. Pick your skills accordingly. Don't refund any of your skills unless absolutely necessary. And here's the kicker. You don't have to refund. If you changed, say you got all 10 of your skills and you have 6 points to refund, and you want to find the sulfur to acid. Say you didn't get it and you want to find it. Just go to the first tier because it's RNG. It just rotates skills. And just choose from there. It's an RNG, so you got 6 chances that it's going to appear on that line then. And then just do it. When I got my sulfur to acid on my other character, Brianna, when I got the sulfur to acid on that, it was because I refunded my skills and went in to pick new skills. I thought it was on line 5. It wasn't on line 5, so then I went to line 10 and chose on line, and it was on line 10. Now, some people say they get it at line 20, tier 20. Some people say they get it, or the second line. Some people say they get it, so that would be 10, I think. Some people say they get it at 30. Some people say they get it at 20. And you're getting it at all those because it's RNG, and it can appear on any line, any tier. It's just the roll of the dice at that moment. But as far as I know, and I can't even say this with any certain guarantee anymore, As far as I know, they only have 40 masteries that they made and 10 tiers. I can't see them making 60 masteries and then allowing them just to, go through 10 tiers and they just funnel and it's the luck of the draw, right? I believe there's only 40. So if it goes live and it's free to play, make 4 characters. Level each character and just pick the skills that are opposite of the skills that you got in the other thing. They're always going to, you only can pick one, so 3 skills are always going to be opposite, right? 3 skills are always going to be opposite what you already picked. But that's not true, because if it's RNG, you could have 3 of those skills on the other character and then nothing to pick then at that point, because you would pick the same one. In that instance, the only thing I can suggest is picking something that you already have on the other character and then refunding it and hoping the next pick has something different on it. The next lines have something different on it. It's weird, but I assumed that yesterday before verifying this. I verified it yesterday, but before that, when I was sitting there having my little about trying to give people advice and stuff like that, I had assumed that each tier had 4 picks and that if you had to refund something, the same 4 picks would be there, right? That's what I assumed, but they're not. The RNG changes. So maybe you can't get all 40 skills on 4 characters. Maybe it's just the luck of the draw, and that'll never happen. I don't know. I can't say for certain, but I would absolutely, every time you go to pick something, if it's on your main character, and that's the main character that's going to be doing most shit, make sure you pick the stuff that complements that main character. Don't pick shit that's unessential to that main character, right? Don't pick, if you're not farming, don't pick no farming stuff. It doesn't make any sense. If you're not going to do your resonator with your cortexes, then don't pick the turrets that give you extra damage. Don't do that. Yeah. But if you're going to, if you're worried about leveling your character and stuff like that, then pick the sulfur, the acid, get that. Get the stardust one, and also get the crystal one, because then you can level that character in relative ease. It's not that hard then at that point. You might have to pick the oil perk also, the super refinery perk. But I wouldn't go grabbing just everything, you know what I mean? If you are going to create another character, then try and have that character pick all the essential shit, right? Try and get that character to have the backpack and the gloves and all that other kind of stuff if you can get them. If you can get them. But remember also that other people are going to be picking those things. And when the server goes live, you're going to have the opportunity to at least get shit for the first 2 weeks with relative ease. Maybe a little trading or whatever, but you could probably have all those backpack items that you need within the first 2 weeks. Let's see here. Again, you're just going to have to be careful with the picks. You're going to have to ensure that you're not, give me 1 second, I'm sorry. Just fixing something on my phone. You're going to have to make sure that you're not picking poor choices. And this goes for everybody. The problem with this beta was these masteries were not in the last beta, so we didn't know anything about these, right? There was a lot of changes. The deviants changed. We have these things called masteries. Towards the end of the last beta, they actually gave you points to put into certain areas. So, like I was building a fire build, so I put everything into psi. So you got this extra psi damage that you don't have now, no matter what you do. You'll never have the psi damage that you had before. Because you would get psi points as you leveled, like you do now, and then you would also earn points to put into your skills. So you can have critical, all that other shit. And I put everything into psi, so my crank was doing massive amounts of fire damage towards the end of the beta, and I loved it. Now I come in. I just had an issue with some people going, "Oh, I'm getting 20 some hundred ticks with my my boom boom. Why are you only getting 1400? The max I get is 1400, and I'm wearing the Hardy gloves, right? So, not on this character. This is my bomber character. On the other character. So now I'm going to go into my mods, and I'm going to start putting anything that's related to burn damage. And for you to increase your burn damage, you're going to have to take away from other areas. So status damage increases burn damage, right? Status. And then burn damage mods that have actually like burn, explosion, shock, and whatever else, ice on it, they do the same thing. They increase your specific skills damage by a little bit. But burn duration is not through the Hardy gloves. I'd have to put on the barbecue gloves. Put on the barbecue gloves, and I increase burn duration. Right? So I'll get longer ticks. Not higher ticks. It doesn't increase burn damage. It just increases the duration in which burn will go. So you'll get longer ticks. But with the Hardy gloves, I get an explosion that when my ticks get to max, I get an explosion of 300%. So what I'm thinking now is if I increase my burn damage, my burn ticks, right? One, it'll take me longer to get to that max burn damage. At least I think it will. Or it may not. If it takes me a little bit longer, then that burn burns a little bit more, and I benefit more from the burn damage. Problem with the Hardy gloves is they're good, and you can really chew down an enemy pretty quickly because you get them explosions. But once those explosions happen, you lose all your burn damage and have to start again. So you're not getting a constant tick of burn damage. When you use the barbecue gloves, you get a constant tick of burn damage. But what I noticed is that even with that, it doesn't seem like you don't have any burst damage. I don't know really what effectively would be better. I think I got to do a DPS thing with it. Put on the barbecue gloves, try that. Then, no, because I don't know if the DPS, I don't even know if the burn is counted towards the DPS or if it's just bullet DPS. The game's hard. I don't know how they have it set up, so I gotta wait and see. I gotta do some testing with it. But depending on which one you use, And then on top of that, burn doesn't affect the giant. So if I go to fight the giant, which I haven't fought on that character yet, if I go to fight the giant, which is the last boss, I'm going to have a hard time, especially solo. So you can go where you get, what is it? Oh, shit. Hold on a second. I'm sorry. I got to remember the type of damage. Not bullseye. Although you could go bullseye on something and use that. But there's shrapnel. You can go shrapnel. And then the other one's weak spot damage, right? So if you go to weak spot damage, like make a build for weak spot damage. Because you're increasing the damage to the red parts of the giant that light up. Shrapnel does extra damage. One of the guys was like, "Oh, be good. You'll be happy with that 13 more damage he does when the shrapnel hits the other arm," which is that is not how that fucking works. I don't know why this guy said that. He doesn't know what he's fucking talking about, to be honest with you. So the shrapnel damage counts because it's not elemental damage. So any damage, any bonus damage that you get from shrapnel will apply to that mob also. So you're getting that full damage to the mob. It's not 14. I didn't entertain it because it was a douchebag from a PvP server that doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about on the PvE server and doesn't play his characters like you do on PvE. PvE builds are different from PvP builds. It's just that easy. Not to mention that he's using just weak spot, or he's using fast gunner in PvP, and I'm like, you can use unstable bomber and shoot through somebody even faster than fast gunner. Absolutely, 100%. Because you can set a crit build and proc unstable bomber almost every fucking shot if you want to. That'll chew right through anybody. Or use a fire build, and the guy who's using fast gunner has to run away because he's burning. He has to heal, and he has to, heal up afterwards and all that other bullshit. And it's not hard. You have to outlast the burn ticks. There's nothing to remove those. Or you use the shock, right? The power surge, and power surge will stun him. So if you're hitting him and you're critting enough, and you're proccing your power surge, there's nothing he can do. He's not going to be able to fucking shoot. So this is what I'm saying about people. They don't get how to play their builds. They just assume, like, he might have played against somebody who didn't hit him or wasn't set up right, that wasn't proccing enough, and it's just stupid. It's just stupid. Trigger chance. So trigger chance on some of the things is your proc for the most part. If you get high trigger chance on a weapon, then you're proccing more often. And crit too. So your crit helps because when you proc, it's just a lot higher damage because you're proccing a crit. It counts as a crit. So you want to proc more often, trigger chance, do that. You'll proc your stuff more often, and then you'll be okay. You get set up for that, which is great. But this game has a weird flow to it. So if you take something that does something better, right? You need to make sure that, especially if it's a mob for like trigger chance, you need to make sure that it has your damage type on there also, and that you get lucky rolls that increase that damage type, or you're gonna lose in some other aspect. So gold mods don't have a status damage like the blue mods do. There's blue mods that give you nothing but status damage, as it's like 12%, and you can run 4 of those, but you lose because the benefit of a blue is only you only have 2 traits that it affects. Then at that point, right, it doesn't affect 4 like the gold mods do. See, random attributes, your attributes, you can only get 2 on blue, you get 4 on the gold. So as you see right here, if I wanted to use the bullseye perk, right, I have element, blaze, frost, shock, and blast, right? So blast applies to unstable bomber. That is an element. I would take something like this and hope that my rolls, hopefully I could find a better one that has more than 1.6%, but I would hope that my rolls to increase this would hit that tier 3 part, so that would increase my burn and all. That's what you're looking for in builds like that. Like something like this wouldn't help that build at all. But if I was running a shrapnel build, it would, because it increases by 6%. And I would roll this, right? So you get shrapnel deals 60%, plus you're getting a 6% increase also on top of that. And this is good for this would be good for any mob that you fight that has a shield, like the first 2 bosses in anything that has a shield. So like if you fought against an alpha, or if you did the Prime Wars, you got to break the shield. I think this, I'm not sure about the Prime Wars. Don't quote me on that, because I don't know if this would have any fucking effect against the Prime War people. If it did, it has to be minimal, I think. I don't think it would be incredible, but it would affect the 2 first bosses you fight in LEA. So you would get that bonus, but it has extra shrapnel damage, right? So you would take something like this to fight that, and you would hope that when you rolled, you got more shrapnel damage on top of that, so that your shrapnel damage is just increasing. But you can get stuff with trigger chance, right? So that things proc more. This right here, Frosty Blessing. So you get good frost vortex damage of another 8%, and you get a 12% trigger chance, right? But this, I don't know. It's not really effective because you might be proccing Frost Vortex a little bit more, but you're losing that extra damage that you get from the other one, which is not a healing one, where it gives you the spike damage or whatever. So you're losing that damage. You gotta try and feel. No one knows the proper builds yet. That's the problem. Like even with the mods, because the mods have random attributes, so you if you're farming a mod, you got to hope that you pick one that gets good, that you get one with good attributes. So at end game, if you're going to min-max your build, all you're doing is running the silos, and then, bosses to get mods. And that's it. That's all you're doing. Until you get the mods that you want. And then you got to roll on those mods to see which attribute is going to increase. And that's random. So now you got to fucking sit there and play with that. I mean, if we could pick out of the 4 attributes which one we want to level up, that would be great. But I haven't been able to do it. So if somebody knows a way of doing it, it never worked for me when I would try and click on the attribute that I want to increase. It's just completely random. It would pick whatever it wants to pick. And you got to hope that you get the right one.
Someone was detected at the front door.
And that's the only problem that I see with that. The builds are going to be hard. Some people are going to get lucky rolls. Some people are going to get lucky attribute rolls. Some people are going to get the better weapons or get a lucky roll with their armor if they use the wish machine still. That only applies to the weapons and armor. But you're going to have builds that are going to be different. Some of the mods are the same. Some of the mods have the same attributes. I don't know how it's fucking random when 2 of the same type mobs may have 2 of the same type attributes. Like, I've come across mods like this, and then go get the Hunter's Perk mod again, right, like this, and it'd be the exact same attributes. So I don't know how random that is, but I assure you that you're going to come across ones that are like that, where the mod is exactly the same. And that might be because they have a limited amount of those mods or attributes on it, and it's just a luck of the roll. But I've come across mods that are identical to each other. Yeah. So anyway, like I was saying, you got everything's going to be up in the air because we don't even know what they're going to change in between the end of this beta and when they release the game. So that's another question. Like, what are they going to do with it? What are they going to change? What are they going to nerf? Somebody just bought. What the hell was that? Somebody buy from me? No. What the hell was that? Like somebody scratching. Was I getting pushed by fucking douchebag again? Anyway, no one even knows what's going to come out of all this. Like, we don't even know if the same items that are in the game now are going to be the exact same items that come out in the release version. Because from CBT1 to now, everything has changed drastically. And even from CBT2 to now, a lot has changed, The memetics was set up way different before. They kind of streamlined it a little bit, but you have to choose certain aspects and memetics to get to the next section that you might need. I don't like that part. I think that's messed up, and you can't change that, so they force you to choose certain things. And then the inclusion of masteries, right? So again, this was just another thing that, I don't know, just seemed weird. I use the stove long-term storage or whatever it is, but I don't even need this, to be honest with you. I don't need it. Yeah. So I think I'm going to reset and see what's underneath it. This will still be there, so if there's nothing good, I'll pick something else. Oh, I can't reset. Okay. Anyway, I didn't need it. I thought I was going to go to the more of the crafting side of things. I mean, it does extend and give you better longevity with your food and stuff like that, but it's really not needed. Not for what I do. Canned meat don't decay, and I just use the beer when I go out for sanity. I don't even use anything else. It's all I need. Anyway. I'm not really doing anything on these characters anymore. This one's done everything, basically. So I don't really have much to do except for like the friggin' gardening or the farming or selling acid or whatever. Like that's all that has acid in it, and it's all going to be done here soon. Probably the next 8 hours. All that'll be complete. That'll be like another 7,000 acid or some weird shit like that. But there's really nothing for me to do on this character. Or even, there's only 2 things for me to do on the other character, too. So that's why I stayed around. I'm going to go over there, though, and do that. Because I don't need to do this stuff probably till tomorrow anyway on this one. But I absolutely recommend people pay attention to their masteries. If the mastery system is still there, definitely pay attention to it. Because if you're not going to pay attention to it, you're gonna lose out on shit. And then you're gonna gimp yourself during your gameplay, and then you're gonna be struggling you're gonna rip through your refund points and maybe never get what you're looking for. That's sad. You're gonna be miserable, and you're gonna want to quit the fucking game because of it, because you pulled wrong. If they give us the option to delete a character, and I got bad pulls my whole game, I would just delete my fucking character. I wouldn't even care, right? Because I don't mind re-leveling characters. As you can see, I have a shit ton of characters, and I don't mind and I got 3 level 50s, right, that I maxed out. I started on other characters, and then I go, I don't like that character. Look, let me go make a new one. Then I make a new one. I have to go through all the same bullshit. We're supposed to get an option to skip the tutorial, which might be really cool, because if we could skip the fucking tutorial, that just saves me a ton of time in which creating characters. We have to have a way of deleting a character. I don't, having us lock in those characters, I don't know why they're doing that. We should be able to delete the characters. The database has to hold all that information. I know it's text, but it's still got to hold all that information. And it's unnecessary. It's just, when you got millions of people, that's a lot more text than what you need if you're holding on these characters, and nobody can delete them. Alright, so these are all done. Holy shit. Let's hope I got enough sulfur to put back in here, or I'm going to have to go get some. Which isn't a big deal. Farming the sulfur is not that hard. It's just I'll probably have to make 2-3 runs.
Someone was detected at the front door.
Can't spam collect these out. That doesn't really work like that. Like you get that double click. So I just take my time when I do it. All right. Let's see. This will tell me how much sulfur I have as soon as I go to do it. Yeah, I have more now. This acid farm, in all honesty, is much quicker than the polluted acid farm. You avoid the headache of having something beeping every time you're at your base and all that other bullshit. Although you can turn that off. If you turn that off, though, you're turning off all your sound effects. So then you won't hear shit, period. You might have some ambient background noise, but that's all right. So I don't think people who play in those areas can live in that doom and gloom that they're in every day. And if they're at endgame and they're always at their base, that's gotta be annoying as shit. It's just gotta be. I can't see it being fun. I actually like this base better than my other one because I like the round design and stuff like that. The other one's nice too, but it's a little bit harder to set up for resonators on that one. Maybe not so much harder to set up, I should say. It's because of the spawns at this location. It's not the best place to do your resonator. You have a spawn that happens over, like now I can handle it, but there's a spawn that happens over here, there's a spawn that happens over there, and then 2 spawns in the back. Nothing on this side, which is fine. I just don't like it. I didn't like the salt flats because it was bland and just like yuck, but having the spawns where I did directly behind made it a lot easier to handle the things. I mean, I can still do them fairly simple. Doesn't require much, just maybe a little attention by me every now and then, but for the most part, it's easy. Easy. So you get about, what is it? What did I put in there? About 6,000? About 6,000 every day, every 24 hours. I think it is. Might be less than that, slightly less than that, but that's more than enough to level as you're going. You know, because you play your first 3-4 days, and if you already have that going, which you're not going to, because you're still going to have the low tier synth, so you're only going to be able to do 2,500 a day. But while you're leveling anyway, you're doing all your questing and all. You wind up having enough acid to level up your character a couple times. Plus, it really counts when you're at your max level when you're going to calibrate everything. I mean, you could calibrate shit early level, but I think it's a waste personally, because everything early level is fairly simple to kill. You'll notice a shift, like. I could stay in the newbie area until I'm 25, almost 30, level 30 if I wanted to, with no issues. And then when I go to fight the level 35 plus mobs, I'll have a little bit harder time because I don't have the next tier weapons, and I need to get those tier weapons. And so then I spend my time farming to get those tier weapons. And once I get those, then it gets easy again. You can jump ahead. Getting the weapons first, and then backtracking and getting all this stuff you need for your armor to get your armor up. You can use level 1 armor if you have a really good weapon until you're level 30. I mean, I've done it, level 1 armor on this character, so until I was like level 30. So you can do it. It's not, or no, I think I was 20 something, or 27, 28 maybe. But you can do it. It's not difficult. Anyway, again, the biggest takeaway from any of this is just to make sure that you. What? Why is there only 10 in there? 16. Did I already clear that out? and not realize it? No, no. It's not impossible. The fuck was there only 10 in there for? I put 1,000 in, and if that something's going, oh shit, that guy was right with the super refinery. Holy shit! I put 1,000 in there yesterday before I went to bed. And I watch my old stream, you'll see me put it in there. And it only made 10 through that whole time. But this goes off, I think, every half hour. So it would, I didn't sleep 5 hours. It would be definitely more than 10. Or is this every 15 minutes? I think it's every half hour. But I only had 10 in there. You know what? I might have pulled some. No, because there's only 10 missing from the fuel depot. And if it's every half hour, that's only 5 fucking hours. But I was offline more than 5 hours, and I... Yeah, they have. They've done something with this. They definitely changed the refineries. Wow, that's fucking crazy. doesn't make any sense. What are you fucking saying? Refined antibiotics. I'm gonna figure this out now. We're gonna watch the point number 2 there. Hold on. Hey, what's up? Check that. The point number 2. What do you mean point number 2? What do you mean point number 2 though? What are you saying? Has backpacks, regular backpack items. What do you mean? I'm missing what you're saying. I'm sorry. You might have seen something that I didn't see, and you're talking about it, but I don't know exactly what you're referring to. If you're talking about the conversation in the page you sent, what page? It's blocked out. It's blocked out. You didn't send a page. Okay, I see what you're talking about now, but there's no page there. It doesn't allow it to come up. Do it without the .coms and the HTTPs. Just like if it's a .com or a .net, just put in the word dot instead. Yeah, it doesn't. But what is it for? Is it in regards to the Eternal Lands? Because I don't know enough. I don't know enough about the Eternal Lands in order to really understand the benefit of using Eternal Lands. To me, it just when I went through the tutorial, it said you can't transfer things back into the real world, right? But you're supposed to be able to store items in between the seasons. Okay, it doesn't make any sense to me because if I bring everything into Eternal Lands, right, I can't bring my base into Eternal Lands as far as I know. So that's kind of pointless, right? You can only bring, I guess, crafting materials into Eternal Lands. So I would have to break my entire base down at the end of the season, right? Which is fine because you'd have to build a new base anyway. And then transfer all my stuff. It's weird because the tutorial tells you can't transfer anything back and that you can only purchase things for sand, so you have to convert things into sand. So if you were to purchase stuff in sand to build within the Eternal world or Eternal Land, you can't transfer that stuff back into the real world. So I don't understand what this guy is talking about, to be honest with you. No, it's not. It's not. Wait, you know what? It didn't stop the www.oncehuman, but it did stop the other dots. That's funny. All right, let me see something here. Let me bring it up. You gotta give me a second. I'll bring it up in a second. I just gotta set my screen up properly. All right, I'm going to it now. Okay, so let's see. I'm going to bring it on my main screen so that I can still see chat from you. All right. So I'm going to read it just to read it out loud so that you can see where I'm at. So it says backstory: Rosetta researchers have plucked metahumans from their original time and space, blah 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 blah, Using the Rift Anchor, metahumans can create an anchor and return to Eternal Land. Okay, so it's a bubble world, whatever it is. So it says cross-season item transfer. With Eternal Land as a fixed anchor point, we will also be adjusting item transfer rules based on pre-existing seasonal item inheritance. You can save items/souvenirs collected throughout the season in Eternal Land in the following ways. Special backpack items. Items/data that could previously carry over to the new season can also be used in Eternal Land, including Starcrom, equipment blueprints, mods, furniture formulas, memetics excluded. Memetics excluded. What? Oh, so the blueprints you find in the world, I got that. Cosmetic items and more. Regular backpack items. Weapons, armor, materials, including materials, medicine, and ammo, will be transferred to Eternal Land between seasons and stored in the depot. There is no limit to the amount of items you can transfer in Eternal Land, but transferring items into the new season will cost a certain amount of material points, depending on the item type. Material points will refresh each season, and you can transfer items to the new season as long as you have material points. You can also sell regular backpack items in Eternal Land for astral sand, the currency used for construction. You know, I mean, the easiest way to do this is how do you fucking even transfer, or does it auto transfer? That's my question. How do we transfer something in there? Or is it going to automatically transfer? I don't think Void knows what he's talking about either, to be honest with you. Because, I mean, Void just isn't... He doesn't utilize Eternal Land. So, as far as I know, he always told me he doesn't even go in there. I'm going to go over. I'm going to take a look. There's a... Okay, hold on. What is this? Manage... Ignoring the support relationship. What? Visitor rules. Okay. Island. Real-time. Activities. Allow any weapon, vehicle, survival. Alright, well that doesn't fucking... That's just how it works, doesn't it? Island logistics. If you cannot open the screen... So I gotta actually be in Eternal Land for me to even see it. If you go to the banner from PV, it explains...
It's not much to look at.
What, the banner inside?
Take a look around, I guess.
Oh, I don't think I ever did this on the character. Maybe I did. I don't know. Which banner? This one? The Mana Bus PV one? Or are you talking in... Hold on. On your own, nothing escapes. The Eternal Land shop is where you can sell building materials in exchange for astral sand and currency needed for construction. You can also stage an army competition. I don't. This just fucking seems really. This concept just seems weird. Yeah, I want to see this real quick. Okay, so look, tools, right? Consumables, materials. But I have no fucking backpack here, so there's nothing here. I have shit in my backpack. I know I do. Oh, I have nothing in my backpack except for this kind of stuff. So this should be there. I should see that because it's saying that things like this transfer. But I didn't have any. What? Alright, that don't make no sense either. How do you transfer shit if you can't transfer anything? If it's not in your backpack? Yet you know stuff's in your backpack, so how do you transfer it? Look, nothing's in here. Not even those blueprints. Oh, you put them in a terminal? Alright, well let's go back to the real world and test it out. See what we do. Get me out of here. There we go. Because if that's the case, and then I can transfer them back from out of there, what's to stop people from getting a huge, massive advantage on launch? That shouldn't even apply until... Yeah, that shouldn't apply at all. That shouldn't apply until the game starts, like officially. Because if not, right now we'll get a huge advantage on. Okay, we'll get a huge advantage on everybody else that's starting. I mean, we'll have a massive advantage to anybody else that hasn't played the game yet. Ah, okay, so. Holy shit. So I can effectively transfer everything over to Eternal Lands. Weapons, everything. And I need to know the deadline for this. Like, when does this end? When is the possibility for us to transfer all this shit over end? Your weapons, your armor, your blueprints. I mean, does all that transfers over? What about your base? Can you transfer your entire base? Man, that would be cool. Can I transfer my base? Wait, if I go over there and hit B and Z, can I transfer my base? I mean, shit, I'll just transfer my whole base over there. But I guess that doesn't really work. You know, I don't think you can do that. Well, only one way for me to find out if I can transfer my base, right? So let's go back over there. Let's see if I can just hit B and Z and I can put my base down. Who knows? I mean, my base is fairly large, so I need a good spot for it. Yeah, I get it. Like somewhere right here would be good to transfer. Up there wouldn't be good because
This place feels peaceful. I can't sense any stardust, medics, anything. It's like we're frozen in time.
No activated territory yet, so you can't use your base, or at least Maybe not until I put down a territory. Blah, 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 blah. I have to go do this stupid quest. I don't know. When I was going through the quest on my other character, it said you can't transfer things out of Eternal Land, right? So, and all I knew that you could build in here. You can purchase stuff and you can build. I hate the fact I could break this all down and it becomes sand currency or whatever it is. But then crazy lady right here still floats.
Thank you, Meta. But I can't.
Yeah, I get all that.
Very.
I don't need this.
We can.
Doesn't.
This world is in a constant state of flux, you see. If what we want is astral sand, all we need to do is speed up that process.
There, you happy? Okay. So I completed that. Thank you. Alright. Let's see. Alright. So I can effectively delete all this. I've done this in the other world. She still floats where the frick she is, which is weird. And then I wouldn't build here anyway, so I'm not fixing this place up. But you can break all this down and get the sand for it, right? And then you can build somewhere else. What I need to do now is inside the Islands Gathering Hall from area.
And now, the transformation.
What? F8. Island shop. Sell. Yeah, see, this came over, though. This is here. So stuff you find in the world will still appear here, like the blueprints and all.
With that done, we can build whatever we like. Maybe you could start with the roof.
I already did the roof, didn't I? Come on, man. I don't care about your damn roof, lady. Count, and then up here is going to be a regular. I can put this up there, right? Make it a big frickin' point. No, I ain't doing that. The floor. Oh, 'cause it's not all the way up. It's hard to. Oh, I forgot about that. Never mind. There we go. I completely forgot I could do that. Dude. All right, so bing, 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 bang, bong. The building gets a little weird here. What did he use? What? Oh, I see what they did. Alright, you happy now? Your fucking roof is done. Alright? You crazy astral plane jumping, weird ethereal Mitsuko. Yeah, Mitsuko, you get to live in a half-built house. That's your lot.
Good work, Meta. But here's the best. Give it a shot. Try planting a...
Damn! I don't want to plant a tree. I want to get through this. Plant a tree. What? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, 80, 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90, 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 100, 101, 102, 103, 104, 105, 106, 107, 108, 109, 110, 111, 112, 113, 114, 115, 116, 117, 118, 119, 120, 121, was like, where am I planting the damn tree at? Okay, is that good? Are you happy now? Are you a crazy lady? Yeah, press escape and depot, right? Press escape. Yeah, on my I got it. You happy? Leaving Eternal Land. So F8 is how you buy stuff, right? Okay. Manage Eternal Land. That's your manage. Okay, that just tells you. I don't know what this is, but it looks like the best one. It said weather fine, man. We don't need no thunderstorms. That would be cool though, because you can control that and just water your crops, and you ain't gotta worry about nothing. Boom, 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 boom. So you press escape in here, you said? Go to depot, right? And then I would just transfer items. This only applies to when I'm internal lane, so I can actually transfer all my shit over to here via the other thing that you said, right? The whatever, I forget what the thing is called. The territory marker. I could transfer stuff over with the territory marker, and then have all that stuff here. And if I wanted to, I could sell that stuff to build within Eternal Lane. To purchase items I need to build within Eternal Lane, I think. Because it costs sand. Yeah, so it costs sand to build in here. I don't think if you've brought wood, say if you brought wood over here, I don't even think any of that would matter. Like that don't, none of that would matter because you can't build with it. You'd have to sell it and build then with sand. So you could farm up a lot of stupid shit, right? Like you could farm boxes and boxes of wood, which is very easy to do. Just run around with the chainsaw and just have 30 boxes of wood, come over here, sell, 20 of those boxes or 25 of those boxes of wood, get all this sand, build over here, have, put your storage and all this other stuff. And then when the new season starts, take everything out of your storage that you have, all your shit that you build over here. And then you have all your stuff back in which to go over into the new game and start building because you just transfer it back over. Because that's what it seems like you can do. You can just transfer it back and forth then at that point. There would be, because I don't see the purpose then of transferring everything into this world if you can't transfer the stuff back out of the world when the new season starts. Know what I mean? Wouldn't make any sense then at that point. And as far as I knew, you couldn't transfer items from Eternal Lands back out. Which box? Okay, so you're talking... Alright. Eternal Land, I go into Island Logistics, and then check what box? There's no box. Historical record? Hold on, let me see what you're saying. Click on Season Server. What? Oh, this up here. Yeah, it's overwritten. That's why I didn't know what you were saying. Transfer to backpack. Transfer to season server. Okay, hold on a second. Each time you enter a new season, players will receive a certain amount of material points that can be used to send props on Eternal Land to the season servers. Sending props, the translation is shit. I'm telling you, you're right. The translation is horrible. Sending props requires the consumption of material points. The consumption of material points for each prop varies, and unused material points will not be retained until the next setting into a new season. Please make your choice with discretion. So you only get a limited number of points. These. And it looks like I have 0 out of 100,000 right now. Or I can only bring in items that are 100,000. I guess. So I would put something in here that's hard to find. Maybe acid. Maybe the plastic. Maybe this is going to be difficult because you got to pick and choose then what you're going to bring over. Holy shit. Yeah, but that's not the problem because they're not being. It's really. It's not in depth enough. Like, we got to experiment with it in order to find out how we do shit. And this up here, they got to fix this because this looks stupid. Transfer to backpack, transfer to season. I'm very confused about that, but okay. Why would you? Yeah, I know, but yeah, I know. That's why it's a beta. I get it. This seems weird though because again, you're gonna have this massive jump over others. What I'm wondering is do we bring stuff over and then it counts it in here? Like I put stuff in here, and when I reach 100,000 points, which is what it seems like they're gonna give us. Each time you enter a new season, players will receive a certain amount of material points that can be used to send props. Sending props requires the consumption of material points. The consumption of material... So we're going to get 100,000 points, and then based on what we bring over, that's going to start ticking down. Or we already have 100,000, we need to bring shit over to see how much points it starts to take away from here. I got to bring something over. But what do I bring over? Okay. Let me just do something simple like wood or something like that. That's how we bring it over. We don't bring it over in our backpack. We put it in that. We put it in the territory marker, and then it goes over. But see, that's the other thing I'm worried about. If we bring something over to test it out, right? Does it lock it in to our material? So maybe I should bring over something that I wish to keep, just in case it does lock it in. You know what I'll do? I'll grab 1,000 acid. I'll see if I can bring that over. So let's grab 1,000 acid. And I'll grab 1,000 electronics, because electronics are needed. I could do adhesive, stuff like that. But I want to see. Now, if I'm bringing over 1,000 and we only get 100,000 points, that might... Maybe I should just take one and one over just in case. This is so weird. I don't like shit like this. I don't like knowing the mechanics of a system. like this. It seems awkward. I'll just take one acid over. I'll use that as an experiment. I don't need to put it. I don't need to put anything else yet. Right. The limit is the 100,000, and now, mind you, depending on what I put in here, that determines how much of that resource points of that 100,000 I get to use. So, sorry. Transfer materials, right? So okay, one acid, right? So I save that to eternally. Right, confirm. So now that should be over there. Now when I go over there and check, I should see that over there and then put that into the transfers to the new season and transfer it, and points should be used. Maybe. So I go into island logistics, right? Okay. Okay, there it is. Now, transfer to season. Hit that. Deposit. Available points insufficient. Okay, so we don't have the points yet. Got it. All right, so when we get the points... Now, that's what the guy was asking. Now I understand what he was asking. When we get the points, how much does each item cost against the points? That's what he was asking, if anybody knew that. Ooh, this is going to be... I mean, effectively, you bring everything over, right? Break your whole base down. Bring everything over, because you can have all of that, right? You just won't be able to save all of it to the next season. So bring everything over. Find out the most important items then that you have, and transfer those to the new season. That you can, as much as you can transfer. And then everything else, just sell for sand and build to your fucking heart's content inside here. Because nothing will matter, because you have to buy everything anyway. Right? You can't build unless you buy. So like food and everything else, yeah, see, this is what you can purchase. Right, exactly. Yep. Yeah, so, I mean, but when's the cutoff for that? That's the point. That's, if this changes in a couple hours, I think it's a couple hours, it's going to change where we're going to get our points. But if this changes and we see those points, do we then have to break everything down? Or, you know, is there a time limit? Is it going to run until the server shut down, until the last day of beta? You know, so that you can still play in the real world without having to, you know, worry about that? Or do you just say screw? Yeah, because I would transfer everything. I would just break everything down and transfer it all over. That's what I would do. I mean, it doesn't matter right now at this point. There's only a week and a half left of it anyway. So if they say, oh, you have to have everything transferred over by today, that pulls everybody out of the real world, basically, except for, you know, if you're going to break everything down, you would have to delete everything at that point and bring everything over. And I would just go into everything, load up my entire inventory, and then have, because you're breaking everything, you can break everything down while you're standing there, get fully loaded with everything that you could possibly carry, I think, and then transfer, then go over to the stand in front of your, you know, transfer thing, transfer everything, and then break everything else down, transfer everything, and then break everything else down, transfer everything, and then come over here and just, you know, play the rest of your game over here. If that's what I'm worried about. Like, when is the deadline to transfer everything? That's what I want to know. I'm actually going to go back over there and ask if that guy knows. Because I don't think anybody knows, really. Yeah, this is gonna be crazy, man. Cause I don't. He's got a good. He had an understanding of the resources and all. There may be issues though, because you know your backpack can only carry so much. So with your materials, you might have to do several transfers, and hopefully, your transfers can all go over. Like there's no space limit on the transfer. If there is, then you have to build, and then bring stuff over. So you might spend a day building and transferring items if you have to. All right. The energy links transfer to Eternal Land? Yeah, but they might charge a resource then. So what if you decide, what if you have a million energy links and you want to transfer those instead? Now you're going to use all your resources and you probably can't even get the full million energy links. This is the problem. It's going to be a finite amount of resources, so you got to figure out what resources you want to transfer over. It's the only thing. I think that's the only thing that's going to stop anything. And for me, it's going to be the most important items, the items that I need. Because initially, we'll get energy links. I don't need to transfer energy links, to be honest with you. Right? I can get energy links. Because all I have to do is go pick a bunch of flowers and then make, do it with the water, make drinks, and you can get 30,000 energy links a run doing that. It's not that hard. Right? Ingots. And you burn a lot of what? Do you burn your ingots, or are you talking about your energy links? Because you don't have to burn energy links in the beginning. We're going to be getting them anyway. And we're going to get enough to do the minimal amount of stuff. I mean, if you want to jump ahead of everybody, but here's the problem with your energy link issue, right? So you might want to transfer energy links. Say you want to get a jump start on having all the stuff that you need. The problem is now you got to get the materials. And if you wasted all your resources on the energy links, now you have no materials. When the server goes live, you're going to be time gated. So you're going to have to wait to even try and go get those materials. So in the meantime, you're still waiting, right? So it's better just to earn the energy links while you're waiting instead of the other way around. Wait, what did you test? I'll wait for you to reply. And when does all this happen anyway, to be honest with you? I'm not even sure when all this happens. 16 hours, 53 minutes? After signing up, you will be moved to the new server. Once the current scenario's countdown ends and the new scenario begins, you can change. What? I don't understand this at all. Enrollment requirements. Do we have to break? See, this reads like we have to break everything down within 16 hours and 52 minutes and be ready to transfer over before then. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I have no clue. What server are you on? Again, you're on this server, aren't you? You're on the same server as me, I think. Yeah, server A. No idea. Yeah. I'm gonna check this again because this seems weird. Yeah, it's still saying 16 hours on mine. Let me click back. Let me click over it. Yep, 16 hours. It ain't changing. That's weird. Now, is the timer based on something? I don't know. Yeah. I'm not sure. Like, what I should... Yeah. This is weird, dude. I don't... They gotta be more specific with this kind of stuff. I wish I could transfer all from here instead of, you know what I'm saying? You can deposit all, but you can't transfer from the crate all. I don't know what to do, man. I don't want to start doing this and then everything is just messed up. Once you transfer everything over, you can't transfer it back, right? Try doing that. Try to transfer back. If we transfer everything over and we can't transfer back, then that means we're stuck in the game not being able to do anything because we transferred everything over. Yeah, but that's what I'm saying then. So what are you transferring over? If you're transferring over stuff that you actually need, you're going to have a hard time in the game playing then. Right? Like you're gonna be like, oh shit, I need some stuff and I can't bring it back now. Yeah, but are you transferring half of the items that you don't really need? That's what I'm saying. Like, or you transfer items that you need? I mean, because I could transfer over the wood and stuff like that I'm not using. I mean, I'm not using that stuff anyway, so it doesn't make a difference. But I don't want to transfer over stuff that I still need to play the game. So you transferred over 4K. Right, okay. I mean, that makes sense, you know, as long as you have... Oh, so you're only transferring like half and half. That's all you're doing. This is going to be messed up, though, to be honest with you. I'm going to just transfer that all over. That too. That. Ooh, automatic parts. I get what you're saying. You get over here. What the hell do we use this Staroid for? I got all the Staroid. I've never used it. It's for Prime War, apparently. I don't know. Used to launch the Prime War, I guess. Yeah. I don't even need it, but I'll transfer it. I'll transfer over the fuses. That ain't gonna matter. I don't really need any of that. I mean, I can do that, but it's not no big deal. I don't use that. I can worry about this later. We're not gonna be fighting anybody, so. Yeah, this is gonna get sticky. I could just see this becoming a real problem for people. I mean, at this rate, I might as well cook everything up and just put it in the bins. I don't even know why I'm storing shit. Just cook it all up. Ooh, platinum crystals. You don't want to mess with those, buddy. Like, I don't really need them anyway, but just in case. We don't know, Jax. I mean, this, and thank you for joining. We're not 100% sure. Right. So we don't know anything about the transfer yet. We don't know how it's going to work. We don't know what we can really, what the resource what each item is going to cost in resources. It appears we're going to get like 100,000 points, or at least that's what it looks like. Yeah, I'm trying to take precautions right now by sending some stuff over, but even still, I don't think we're gonna get. I don't know, to be honest with you. I'm kind of confused with this whole Eternal Land thing. They didn't explain it very well. It seems a little sketchy. Shit, I'm just gonna start crafting everything now. Might as well. Yeah, I think that's where we're at with it too on this server. Is just send it. I mean, I'm only gonna worry about this character. I'm not doing my other 3 characters. I'm not. I ain't trying to go through all this. I'm gonna transfer this stuff now. I mean, I don't need that. I ain't porting nobody the fuck over there anyway. So that don't matter. I'll put that in there though. It seems like it's gonna be. At some point we're gonna figure out exactly what's worth transferring and what's not worth transferring. I think, until we figure that out, I think everybody's going to be doing the same thing. Because there might be a limited amount of objects that we can actually store over there. Or, like I said, can we build storage things, transfer everything over within a certain amount of time, and then just have everything, and then delete our base, basically break our base down, and then transfer all those resources over to, yeah. I think it's all going to matter when we realize how much time we got to transfer stuff, because we still got like a week and a half of gaming left, and that's why I'm leery if this starts today, how much time we got to do it. Because if we only got a day to do it, then why would you just transfer everything over now and stop playing the game at that point? There'd be no reason not to transfer everything over and just get all the points you can for it. Because everything that we can't get the resources for to transfer to the next season is going to get turned into sand anyway. So probably the majority of the stuff that we're all going to transfer over, we're going to have to convert to sand and just build within Eternal Land in between. Yeah, exactly. You sent a solar drive? For what? There's nothing over there. There's nothing over there. What the hell? Ain't nothing in Eternal Land. You get a couple trees you can chop down, and basically that's about it. Well, wait, you could put nodes down, right? No, I think you could. I think you could put nodes down or something like that. Like, because you could put trees down. I would assume you could put nodes down and farm nodes if you wanted to. I don't know, man. I'm just so confused. I feel like an idiot when it comes to this because I don't have a clue what should or should not be going over. That's the problem. Like, do we need antibiotics? Are we going to be fighting anything that requires us to have to heal? Right? So, I mean, that's my concern. Bulletproof fabric? No, I can't take all that. Not, at least not just yet. When I find out what's happening with it, I can do it. But right now, I got to leave some of that there. This seems sketchy as shit, man. That's right. It just does. I don't know. I'm tripping right now because I'm like, this does not seem like a good idea. I'm worried about stone because you can get stone anywhere. Do some cooking over there. I barely got any aluminum though. You said furnace. Yeah. Well, they said you can do that. They said you can do that. So, and you can use that as one of your like resource items. I wouldn't use it, to be honest with you. I'm not going to use any. Maybe the shelving. If I have the shelving, I would do, but I'm not going to use any of the other stuff. I should have just grabbed this box. This had everything in it and shit. What the hell was I doing here? Oh, that's my inventory. Never mind. Ah! Silverware. I'll take all that. I don't care. I'll take that. I'm just smelling a nightmare coming on. I don't know. Burn them for warmth. Nah, just sell them for the sand so you can build over there. This better be friggin' worth it, I'm telling you. What? Oh, so you, okay, so I found an item that you can't transfer. Staroid doesn't transfer over. Alright. Doesn't seem like there's a limit so far. What? Send my shit. Now look, I broke the game. I broke the fucking game. Yeah. Well, they got to give us a button to transfer items out of our inventory too. Like if we wanted to transfer a box of wood into our inventory, we should be able to transfer the other way also. We can only transfer in. We can only store all in. We can't store all out. I don't really need any of this shit. Alright. I mean, really, it's just going to be me over there. What do you need any of this for? Like, the food-wise? Like, what are you going to need it for? You don't need it. You just you. And the water, you don't really need water. You got water right there. You just rebuild your stuff, so. I mean, you can have a head start, but, like, for what? Salt, you just go down to the ocean that's there. Just get all the salt you want. Sugar might be needed though, so I'll take that. Let's see. My seeds. I'll try and take all this just to see if it lets me transfer stuff over. Because it wants you to buy, you can buy seeds in the Eternal Lands, but you might not be able to buy every bit of seeds that you have. Food. Might as well take food over because I think you're going to need food, maybe. I don't know. Who knows? I don't use any of this. I'll take it all over. Check. Yeah, because you can buy the seeds over there, but I don't know if you can buy every seed over there. It doesn't look like you can buy every seed over there, at least from what I saw. You might be able to. Who knows? Definitely take that. I'll take all these. I don't care. I'll take the water too. Why not? Never gonna hurt, right? Nope, nope. No, everything gets transferred over, and you can't have nothing then. Plus, I want to see what can and cannot be transferred. I already know that it seems just the one thing can't be transferred so far. And I don't think I have to worry about sanity, but I don't think you have to worry about any of that. Now I think I'm just transferring shit in panic mode, like, so I don't. Damn. Oh, like all my deviant items I want to transfer over to. Yeah, I think I'm rando transferring right now. Gonna break the game again. No, yeah, but here's the thing, right? So I just read what you wrote, Jax. The funny part of this is, even if it does say that, right? Bring pick 3 things to bring back. Excuse me. It doesn't even matter, because I planned on having nothing anyway on the new server, so I would have started clean and fresh. So 3 things is still better than nothing, which is what I thought. So to me, that's a net positive. That's not a negative. That's a net positive. All right? But it would be funny. It would be really funny if something like that happened. If all of a sudden you got twisted up like that and you can only bring like 3 things back. Like, I just don't see a lot of use for a lot of stuff, you know? Like, literally, like, I don't see a lot of use for half of the shit that we're going to be trying to transfer over. Like, I got all this stuff, all this decor, all these decorations, all the pictures. Does that auto transfer over, or do you have to have the actual blueprint? And if you have the actual, do you have to have a spare blueprint, so you have to have a double copy of that? And if so, why didn't they say that from the beginning so we could save our doubles? Right, exactly. No, you already got a head start on everybody else. But then again, remember, your gun don't matter, because you won't be able to use your gun if you're end game. You won't be able to use that. The gun's not going to matter, because you're going to start out as level 1 in the new server. But if we can bring the blueprints for the guns that we already have. Excuse me, I had to blow my nose. It just seems like it's going to be a mess for a little bit, you know. I think that's what's going to happen. I think everything's going to be kind of screwed up initially, because everybody's going to be trying to move stuff. Like, what about all our deviants? Do all our deviants get transferred over? Who knows? You know. I'm going to go test it out now, because I got all those deviants in my backpack that I don't use. I'm going to send them on over. See if the deviants count, or see if we can send the deviants over. Hold on. Okay, so we can send deviants over, right? So let's just send all these guys on over, since I don't use them. See ya. Bam! Gone! You too. Get over there. Wait. No, that's not my attached deviation. Never mind. Well, I mean, you'll have the bats anyway, won't you? This really does seem sketchy as shit, though. I gotta be honest with you. Like, we're gonna have all our shit transferred over there. At some point, everything's gonna get wiped anyway, because they're gonna mess up the database or some shit, and everything winds up getting wiped anyway. Like, that's what I'm concerned about. Yeah, see, this don't. I can't transfer this. None of that. None of this stuff can be transferred. That must be a quest item or something. Oh, look at this shit. But you can transfer all of this. Look at that. This is all the stuff that I found in the world so far. Yo, I'm telling. I have. Okay, I don't know if you heard my rants over the past couple days, but I have a couple of them. One is addressing the issue with the wish machine, because there's no doubt that the wish machine is loot boxes in a game format, because it's a whack-a-mole and it's RNG. So it's just a loot box basically that plays out as a video game. Which is illegal in China to have loot boxes, but I don't believe there's anything illegal for a wish machine that is a loot box but pretends to be a video game. I think that's how they're getting around that. If not, the wish machine won't even be in the Chinese version of the game, so I'm worried about that. Because if the wish machine stays in the game, it's set up for premium currency by design, right? Regardless of whether they said they're going to have pay to win and all that other shit. No, it is, because it's RNG. It's the same as a loot box. It's identical to a loot box. It's the exact same thing. No. The thing about that, no, because there's a percentage and they control the percentages. So it's almost the same. No, because you can have that in loot boxes too. Oh, you get a guaranteed X in a loot box, right? But it doesn't mean that you're going to get that because the percentages are set so low. No. That's not true. That's not true at all with the loot boxes. The loot boxes are set by RNG, which is the same method that the gotcha machine is using for all the top tier weapons and all that other stuff. It's the same exact thing, because you can get the vortex or whatever it is 90% of the time or some shit like that, but only get the little jaws maybe 0.1% of the time. It's all about how they program the percentages, the RNG rolls and stuff like that. It's not really random. It's a program that randomly generates a number, but there's a program behind it. They can set that. Right, but that's what I'm saying. I am worried that they are going to introduce premium currency, because here's the thing with the Mr. Wish machine also, right? The Mr. Wish machine is designed to benefit hives and war bands more than anybody else, because they can do the prime wars to get the extra currency that solo players may not be able to. And there have been issues on other servers where, and we've talked about this, Peru, the misconception with Sunny, where something's not announced in chat, people start bitching. Well, why didn't you announce it in chat? Because the warband didn't announce it in chat. And so no one knew the primal war was going on to participate in. So they don't benefit from that. If a warband wants to not allow people to know about it, they're going to do it without people knowing about it, right? And it's very easy to do that. You can't tell when the prime war is going on unless somebody makes an announcement about it or somebody says something about it in chat. So you have the possibility of being locked out of that extra currency that you can get. So you're going to fall behind. That's already a system designed to benefit clans, to benefit hives, or, well, hives and warbands, if we call them clans in general. So if you're a solo player, you can get locked out of that. It's very easy to get locked out of that, right? Right, exactly, unless you're checking the map. And you might not be checking the map. You might be running a dungeon and not even know. So there's those issues with that, right? And then also, you can earn your currency by doing your resonator, your cortexes, right? So you can do your cortexes. But generally, most people can't do a cortex level 3 unless you're base. Like, I could do cortex level 3s all day long with this base design. No, it's not even an issue for me. I can do it. I might take a little bit of damage if the umbrella lady hits one of my turrets or something like that. But other than that, I can kill everything, and I can just rebuild that pretty quickly. But most players don't ever get to Cortex level 3s. They always need somebody to help them because they don't have their base set up for that. So, like, I have the bonuses on my turrets to be able to do Cortex level 3s. I purposely did that. Right? I'll show you my base, Jack, and you'll see why mine's... Look. Okay. Let me go into flight mode so you can see it. And then you can see my base. My base is set up perfect for my resonator. There's my resonator right there. Right? These are all T3 turrets with the bounce on them, with the bonus on them. I got turrets over here, turrets going all the way around my base. A lot of this is unnecessary, like these turrets in the front, because nothing spawns out here. But I was used to I was used to the beta 2, and beta 2 you used to have stuff attack you all the time. So I always put the turrets out there. This side set up more because I get a spawn here. I get a spawn over here, right here, and then I get 2 spawns here and here. Nothing spawns on this side. So technically I don't need any weapons over here, but I got excess power up there with everything hooked up. Anyway, I start my T3s. Nothing even gets near my resonator. The only thing that ever damaged my base was the alpha boss, and it's because I was testing with less turrets how much damage how long it would take for that boss. When you use the umbrella boss, seems to get their charge off a lot faster than most of the other bosses. So that's usually done if I run 5 cortexes in a row, because that's the second boss, so it brings up that second boss. But I never have an issue. Never have an issue. And this is my entire base design. I don't have anything break, nothing. Full coverage around. Yeah, I got to switch. I got to switch too. Right? Wait, is it on this one or am I? No, it's on my other character. But I literally have like 44 watts of power still. I can add more if I want to. Anyway, so I'm good. Like, in this, like, I got a little farm right here on either side. And all I grow, this is for the fertilizer and this for the alcohol, so that I can have I don't worry about my sanity for 30 minutes. And I got plenty of that. So everything that I designed, this base took, the initial design was easy. Like, it's the initial base right here. That's easy. There's nothing. It's just a round design, and I utilized every bit of space. So, you saw me running back and forth, but I got my kitchen, my furnace, my crafting room, right? And then, set up a bedroom, of course. And then my jennies all around. And then my water. And that's it. That's all I need. But it's a real easy base design, and you can put everything in it you need. This over here is just for, where's it at? This way. I did that for the dummy, like a little shooting range. My 2 garages, and then this, nothing but synth benches for acid. And then I got a synth bench up here just in case I have to craft something else, like mollies or some shit like that. My barrels. It's all for convenience. Everything's for convenience. I didn't want a big ass square base, right? Some huge square base with multiple floors and having 350 fish tanks in my base, because I just want to fill out the area. You don't need to do that, On my other base, it's a square design, but it's compact too. It's 4 floors high. It has everything in it I need. My floors aren't really split between my cooking. Well, cooking is downstairs on the 1 floor, but all my crafting is in the same area. I don't have my furnaces below. And then all my boxes are right there on shelves, and it's much easier to craft in that base. But it don't really matter, because crafting's easy. You just start your crafting. I got to run up another flight of steps. It's not a big deal. This was designed, initially I had the steps down here, so it going up, so I can run right out and up from my shooting floor, but it blocked the resonator, and the guns sometimes would shoot through it, and you don't get damage when it does that. So I made it come up, and I built a walkway over to it. But I like the design. I think it looks pretty cool. So you come up, and then that's my base. That's like the main part of the base that I'm going to be doing again. And then these are just additions. Like, I could actually put them in all 4 corners. Because if you know where something spawns, you can block that spawn a little bit, and they'll spawn off it slightly. Sometimes, if you put it directly on the spawn, they might spawn on top of the object. But even if they did that, my turrets would just destroy them right away. So, not no big deal. Right, exactly, and that's what good. No. Box builds are fine. I'm not saying you got every inch. You utilize your space properly, so that's fine. I don't care about a box base when you're utilizing your space. I'm talking about people that build box bases, right, and then have 40 windows in it, and you go inside and there's 3 objects, and they're level 50, and they haven't done anything else but put the necessary stuff in their base. Why even build it that big, right? If you're not utilizing your base, why build it that big? Don't say for expansion because you're not expanding. You don't need to build a base that's your entire width of your territory, unless I don't know you're putting in 5,000, like this huge farm and stuff. I can get that, but you don't even need that for a farm. You could build upward on a farm on platforms. Like you can make a platform of 12 by 12 for nothing but plots, and then come off of that platform to another platform that's a 12 by 12, and have steps coming up and make it some intricate design. You don't need to utilize all the ground space, and I don't know why people do that. Utilize their whole ground space. Then they get when they do the resonators, what happens is they get the mobs spawning in their building or on top of their building, which is, harder to defend. It's just stupid. Doesn't make no sense to me. I see he's got a nice looking base over there. Did a real good job with his base. I like the design. Right? There's another guy somewhere. Where'd he go? There's another guy over here that's got a pretty decent design too. Him over there. Not too bad. He utilized his stuff correctly. But then you get the other people that don't even care about their building. And I'm like, why? You got all these options. You can build shit. Yeah, I moved my base. I moved my base away from Void Kitty, because me and Void Kitty had an argument on Discord, and they left all in a huff and puff, and it was like did the whole fucking Care Bear cookie thing, which is fine. They're allowed to be upset. I don't care about that bullshit. But they were being jerk offs, and they wanted to try and force an opinion on me, and I wasn't having it. I was like, nah. I was like, you're out of your fucking mind. Like, that's crazy talk, dude. Like, you don't even come from where I come from, so you can't even talk to me about this shit. You don't know this type of world that I live in, so you can't tell me about my. Anyway, not getting into it, because there's a whole Twitch video somewhere with the whole argument on there, and I'm leaving it there just in case he tries to say that he didn't do that shit. Irregardless, I moved away from him because I moved away from him because he was talking too much. He was just being a dick, and then when he fucking got off Discord, he blocked me on Discord. You get in an argument with somebody, you don't go to that level, especially if you've been friends with him the whole time. But he did that. That's fine. I don't know him in real life, so it don't fucking matter. It just bothered me in game. And he left, then removed me as a friend, ignored me in the fucking game. Now he never sees anything that I type, even though everything that he needs help crafting, I can do and used to do for him. So he knows I'm in game. He knows because people will mention my name in game while he's talking to him, so he knows I'm online. He doesn't want no help from me, and I don't care. That's fine. He doesn't need any help. So I moved my base. Plus, I wanted my oil. I wanted to be able to start doing my crafting for gas and all that other stuff, which sucks anyway. Anyway, yeah, I'm right here now. Hold on. Right next to Blackfell oil fields, right along the river's edge. It's a good build spot, to be honest with you. This is my other character. The base is in the exact same position because I want to have access to, since I can craft my sulfur or craft my acid from sulfur, I don't need to go to a polluted area. But I want to have access to the oil, so I just come here. I have access to the oil. It's a nice green area. It's got a river. I got water. I can do what I need to do, and then I don't have to worry about nothing. Like, everything's right here. The only thing you don't have is salt, but you can just go to the ocean, gather some salt. And since I don't use the dried meat, I don't even really need the salt anymore either. Jack, I'm gonna tell you something I found out yesterday with the masteries, so that you can understand how this works. All the tiers of the masteries that go in those tiers are all RNG. They're random which masteries they put in each tier. If you pick a tier and say you wanted backpacks, but it also in that tier has sulfur to acid, right? And you go, like I did, okay, on an experimental build. I not on my builds that I'm using now, but on an experimental build that I made the other day. I picked the backpacks, and then I thought, this is what I thought this whole entire time. You pick your backpacks. I created my backpacks. I knew I had less than 14 days left on, so it didn't matter to me. So I created my backpacks, and then I refunded that skill to go back and then pick the sulfur to acid skill. But when you refund, those you'll still have your backpack skill in that tier, but the other 3 skills that you had come back RNG again. So it could be 3 other completely different masteries. So if you see the sulfur to acid, and I'm not 100% sure, but I'm almost positive they only have 40 masteries in the game, 10 tiers each, 4 masteries per line. I think that's the maximum they have. They may not even have that. They may only have, because you can only pick one, they may only have, I don't know what, 20, right? But another mastery pops up. So the chances of you getting the same mastery on the same tier if you refund isn't great, depending on how many masteries you have. So you got to be careful. This time, as you pick your masteries, I would pick what you really need, what you need for your character. Someone's always going to pick backpacks, right? Somebody on the server is going to be able to make you backpacks. Someone will be able to make you the sickle. Somebody will be able to make you the gardening gloves. So I wouldn't focus on those as much as I would focus on being able to do sulfur to acid, being able to make stardust, and also being able to make your crystals. And anything that applies, I hear you in game. Anything that applies to those 3 masteries, anything that complements those 3 masteries, I would pick. And I wouldn't worry about nothing else if you're only having one character. If you can do multiple characters, like 4 characters, and have them all in a hive, you might be able to pick every single mastery that you need just by picking the opposite ones on the other characters. But remember, they're random, and you can wind up with the same masteries on the same line, you know, on another character. So that's, I'm going to try and play multiple characters next one. Right, exactly. And that's why having more than one character is very beneficial in these types of games, so that you don't have to rely on anybody. Because you get in a hive and you get your 3 other friends to get all the other skills that you need, and then one of them decides they don't want to play anymore. Now you're screwed because you don't have the stuff that you need, especially if it's something like backpacks or whatever, because it ain't going to be like the beta. It's not going to just last a certain amount of time and then going to end. We have seasons, and in those seasons, you're going to turn around and have a 3 months within that season. If you only have something for 14 days and your boy used to make it, now you got to find somebody else who can craft it for you. Rest assured you'll find somebody, as long as people are playing the game. Somebody's got to have it. But like now, if I ask for somebody to craft something like a sickle or backpack, if they don't have that skill in there, because there's a lot less people playing, because they know the beta is going to end and they're end game already and they have nothing else to do. Now they're not online. It may take me a couple hours to get somebody to make my materials. Yep, that's what I do too. Even though the other day when I was in Discord, the Once Human Discord, somebody literally was like, "Oh, so you're a solo player that doesn't do anything for anybody." I'm like, "What? I do. If somebody needs something and they ask for it and I got it, they get it. I do anything for anybody. I don't care about that kind of stuff. Like, being a solo player don't make me stingy, asshole. It just, it makes me cautious about the materials because I can't get as much material as a group can. So if I only have 1,000 of something and it costs me 100 every time I go to make something or make a repair, I'm not giving you half of my 1,000, because then I limit myself, and it's harder to go out and farm that shit as a solo. And I got nobody else to borrow from, so that don't make me stingy. That just makes me cautious about wasting my shit. Yeah. Because I'm a hoard. Yeah, but you know why I have that much material? Because I'm a loot hoarder. That's exactly what I am. I loot everything in an area before I leave it. I don't care what it is. It could be the smallest, the damn what is it, the mixer for like milk, the milk whatever it is, whatever that thing is, the milk frother. I will loot that. I don't care. That could be the only object in the area, and I'm near the end of the area, and I've already run through everything, and I may not feel like running back in, but because I see that little shiny on the ground, my ass makes a beeline right for that shiny, like right for it. I thought you knew I was over here too, by the way. Wait, why is that going off? Did you toggle? No, why is this going off? Do you see this? Wait, so you can activate that? No, you're toggled, aren't you? Are you toggled? Are you toggled for fighting? You have to be toggled. Really? So it happens no matter what? Well, that's crazy because that was hurting him. That was hurting his character. It hit him for 236 each pulse. Yeah, that's stupid. It's not so... why would it do... I mean, that shouldn't do that. Hold up. Yeah, look. 232. 236. I'm surprised the other one didn't go off. I mean, you'll be there all day. What? Really? No. Come on. Get out of there as soon as you get up. That was like 5 hits and you died. I didn't even know they do damage to people. Of course I'm going to res you, man. I want to leave you laying on the ground. I'd actually would delete that shit. I'm actually going to delete them right now. That's annoying, number one. What about the spike traps? Do the spike traps hurt you? How did I... Oh, you know why I didn't notice? Because I play solo and I have no fucking friends that come by and say hi. Oh, wait. Are you a friend? Did you request friend with me on that character? I don't think we're friends on that character. Hold on. Let me check. Are we friends? No, we're not. You're not a friend. That's why. So it's just hitting it. Just request friend so that shit'll stop. Okay, I got you. You're good. You're good now. That shouldn't go off now. That's funny as shit. I didn't even know that happened. And you guys knew that happened, huh? Yeah, I already accepted you as a friend. Yeah, we're good. You're a friend. That's crazy. I didn't even know that happened. Anyway. What the fuck were we talking about anyway? I don't know what we're talking about. I kind of lost my train of thought there after that shit. That freaked me out because I didn't know that happened. I thought it was a mob under the ground that was getting hit. No, not for me. You want to see this? This is funny. Look at this. Not for me, it ain't. Go all the way to the end. Select it. Look at mine. 15 hours and 59 minutes. I personally think I'm special, right? So the devs recognize that I'm very special and gave me some extra time to get my shit together because they know that I'm having problems right now. And when I said special, I don't mean better than other people. I meant like special, like in special ed class and shit. I think the devs think I'm stupid. So they want to give me some extra time to get this shit together. I'm on server A on this character. So server A, world 9. On my other level 50s, my other main level 50 is on server N, and my other level 50 is on server K. And then I have characters almost on every other server that aren't level 50, but I started leveling them, and then I was like, fuck this, I don't want to go through all this again. Yeah, but what does that mean for you? Did you check and see how that affects any of your stuff or anything like that? Did you go into Eternal Land and see if you got points now? Because if you don't have points, they haven't reset the servers yet. Kind of like when they say they're going to open up a new area, yet the new area don't open up until the server resets, and then the new area opens up, or the next day it does. It actually opens up, and then you wind up having that new area open up. It doesn't open up when the timer counts down, apparently. How are you critically injured? You're healed, right? We got you up. You should be full health. You shouldn't be getting heat. That's a trap that shouldn't work, to be honest with you. Yeah, maybe you have to relog. Maybe the system hasn't updated yet to show that you're fully healed. I don't know. They might only ping information from people every so often. Or request, not ping, but request information from the characters every so often back and forth to slow down on ping requests, on server requests and client requests. So just packet transfer issues. That might be one of the ways they optimize. Rust does something similar where it saves every 5 minutes, but you can change the time to like every 15 minutes. And when it saves, you get that little lag. I haven't noticed any kind of lag when it's saving though. Yeah, nothing different, right? So your materials are over there, though. Speaking of which, let me go over there and see what's going on with the materials. Yeah, I'm going over to Eternal Land anyway to check out what's going on over there. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. Maybe I logged on after they fixed that and got that update, because I did log on after most people that were already on the server. I'm not going to build over here until I'm able to move everything. Then I'll build my base over here. And I guess I'll be doing a bunch of fishing and farming. Sounds about right to me. Invite people over, have some PvP battles, so we can fight. Waste our bullets and our ammo. Yeah. Fish in this heart-shaped pond that I can't stand. Like, come on. Why do I want a big heart on my island? Like, I don't love anybody that much. I'm a solo player. Stay the fuck off my lawn. I don't want you. Stupid. Alright, let me see my Eternal Land stuff. I gotta check this out anyway. So, island logistics. So, a lot of shit transferred over, of course. Doesn't seem like there's any... What is this stuff? Oh, these are like blueprints and all, right? Yeah. Furniture. Okay, that transferred over. Yep. I didn't transfer any weapons yet or armor. I'm just wondering if I should even... why I shouldn't just delete everything now and just come over here, build my base, and just play over here. Since I'm playing like a solo player anyway, and I don't really have anything else to do over there, I might as well just do that. But this might cause me to go out and try and get blueprints, though. If our blueprints don't transfer... Because what about blueprints that we already used, right? Do they still count while we're over here? Let me see. Hold on. I can tell you right now if they count. Because I can go into build mode and see what it is. Yeah, so all the blueprints are here. You can build all the stuff. Yeah, you don't have to worry about it. Auto transfers. Because I still got all the blueprints that I had. So go over and buy all the blueprints from dude that you can buy. You know, like the guys that sell the blueprints, buy all the blueprints now. This way you have them all. Because we don't really need our... Well, I don't know. Not sure about that yet. Because apparently you can transfer over your energy links. I don't see no energy links here, but I just see sand. And I wouldn't even know where you can transfer your energy. You can transfer, oh, all your mod stuff comes over with you. So you'll still have all this shit. All your blueprints for your weapons. Still got it all. If it wouldn't let you do anything over here, you wouldn't see these. It wouldn't allow us to access this stuff. Pretty cool. Everything that's not a mimetic. Because you're not going to need your mimetics over here, I think, right? You don't need them over here. Because you can build everything that you can build. Like I could still... Yeah, you're not going to need your mimetics over here. Because I can still build all my facilities and all. All my storage. Yeah, I'm gonna go buy everything else shit. Leave Eternal Land. It's time to make some vendor visits. Buy up all my blueprints, buy up everything that I want to mess around with. I would even buy like all the attachments so that you can mess around with all that shit too. I need to sell some shit, make a couple more bucks, but that's not bad. Oh, I didn't transfer none of that shit. Hold on. Because I'm not going to be growing anything else out there. I already got everything I need. You could why would you be able to transfer controllers? Ours is not the question why. You can't transfer Staroid though. Definitely not. You transfer that. Oh, you'll be able to make this stuff over here. There's no reason to transfer that. I'll save it anyway, because I can just remake it. Yeah, yeah, exactly. You can still craft everything. I just found that out when I went over. If you go over and just hit B, you can see all the stuff you can still craft. So, you still need to sand, I believe, maybe to craft those items. I don't know if you're going to be able to craft them items without the sand. So, you may have to take some of the items that you send over afterwards and convert it into sand so that you can purchase or so that you can craft the items. I don't know how that's going to work. I still don't. I'm just randomly spewing shit out. That don't really matter. But I think everything in our inventory is going to transfer over too. So what you have in your inventory, it really doesn't matter. I don't think you're going to have to put everything off of you into it, because we're not going to start naked. We go over with all our weapons and armor and everything in our inventory. I'm just sending all kinds of shit over there for no reason. I know you can't retrieve items, but I can have them while I'm over there, and I can break them down if I need to. Shit, you can effectively send just about everything over there. I mean, again, you're not going to be able to keep it all, but you can build a lot of shit right over there. You can practice builds over there. You can do all kinds of stuff. You got the room. I just like the fact that I now know I can craft everything over there that I can craft here, so it'll be a lot easier. Yep, I'll tell you what, while they're doing their thing, because I think we're going to be able to access Eternal Land servers while they're still doing their stuff. I'm pretty sure that's how that's going to work. We can still go into Eternal Land, because it's not really, I don't know. I'm not sure how, but I think we can still go in there even when the beta stops. If that's the case, you can just sit over there and practice, base designs, figuring out base designs, and like where you're going to put everything. Doing shit like that, improving the base design that you have now, making it more functional. I think that's great for Eternal Land if you got enough resources to be able to do that kind of stuff. It's probably one of the best things for that part of the gameplay. Yeah, but you don't carry over mimetic points, I think it is. I think that's what they're talking about. You don't carry over any mimetic points. So whatever mimetics that you have now, that's the stuff, apparently, that you can craft. So if you wanted to experiment with something else, you change your mimetics up now before it happens or whatever. Or go over and build that shit over there already. Because remember, you could pick the mimetics for the auto logger and the auto... Damn. That might be beneficial over there because it's barren. And the auto miner and the auto logger don't care whether there's trees or rocks around. It just does it after the timer counts down. That might be beneficial to get those and go over there and just put them down and leave them there. So that you don't have to try and farm shit to get stuff. Even though you probably don't need to anyway. with all the stuff you'll have. I mean, we'll have everything that we have now, and we're not running out of anything over in Eternal Lands. Once we build, right? And then if you want to change your building up, you just delete it and rebuild. No big deal. I would suggest, though, creating a separate storage initially off of your main base. Put it somewhere that's a little bit out of the way, so that you know, still within wherever your territory is. But you can build anywhere in Eternal Land, I think. And probably utilize the storage from anywhere. Build it off of your base, though, just in case you want to, like, delete your base. You don't have to, like, move all your storage shit and everything else. Even that won't be too hard either, because you can pick up the whole thing and move it. But still, just having like a central place for your storage so that you can just build whatever you want. Then I think that's what I'm doing. I'm gonna have a separate building just for all my items, everything that I need in that, with storage boxes. So it'll all be separated already. And then I can just build and practice builds, and then break the builds down if I don't like them. You know, or if I want to change something without having to move all that other excess bullshit. Like, I would do all my builds first, and then slowly, little by little, try to add in the other shit like your benches and everything else, but make the build initially. That's what I would do, and then fill it in. I might try a couple new things on this and not have this big ring going around my base, but have circular rings in all four corners coming off of my base, with a central unit for the resonator. That might take a little bit of time to set up, because then again, maybe not. Problem with doing anything when it comes to trying to set up things for, like, where you would want your resonator and all other, the deviant mobs spawn in different locations depending on where you're at. So they're not always going to spawn in the same locations. They don't. Someone tried to tell me they spawn in all four corners. That's a lie, because they don't spawn on my one side at all. They only spawn on the opposite side. What's that? Dude, I told you, if they let me buy a server, I'm gonna have my own server. Like, on release, I'll have my own server. So I'm not even sweating that. And if you guys want to play on my server, if they allow us to buy them, I'm gonna at least have definitely one server. Two, if they don't charge like a crazy amount of money for them, because I want to also get the characters. And if they switch up on us and call and charge us for the game, then I'm only gonna purchase the game. Depending on how much, if it's $70 per, copy of the game, I'm not buying 4 fucking copies of the game. It's just not gonna happen. I don't care. I have the money. I could do that easily. I could buy fucking 20 copies of the game. But I don't like wasting money, and there's no sense in me paying $70 per copy of the game. I'll just buy maybe a copy, and then I'll buy the 2 servers at the same time. Yeah, I have a feeling, though, if I do get my own server, Peru, it's going to be... I might not be able to utilize the stuff that I'm putting over in the Eternal Land on my personal server, which won't really be a personal server. I don't believe I can lock the server out from people. It'll still be, they'll still have to update when it updates and everything else. If they do it all through them, if they make their own hosting company or something like that, they can control it all. But if they have to have a hosting company, they're going to have to make sure that they patch those too, or that the hosting company patches. I don't know how server ownership works as far as that's concerned. I know my server, like if it's like Rust, I buy my server, I set my server up the way I want to. I can lock that server. I can kick and have whatever in there. I can change the rates in the server, things like that. But when the server has to go force update, I don't have to force update my server, but the server companies do it, and then you wind up having to do it anyway because they do the force update. Or they tell you there's a force update. They don't make you do it. But I would force update the server anyway, and that would, whatever changes they made would wind up being on the new server. I got a lot to figure out once it goes live. I'm pretty sure if I can get my own server, I will not be on server A, server B, servers, and I'm sure they're going to have names for those. I don't think they're going to just call them server A, server B. I think they did that to be able to distinguish rapidly between the servers, you know, so they can fix shit. But I'm assuming they'll name the servers probably after some locations in the game or some of the mobs in the game, or you know, things like they do on every other game. They never name it server A, server B. It's probably going to be different names. We don't even know if there's going to be a server A. That's what I'm saying. Like, there might not be even Starlight A. Might not be anything. They just put them in categories so they can easily manage them. I doubt very seriously that they're going to name shit Starlight A, Starlight B. I think they did all that for the beta so they can track the servers and real-time problems that happen a lot faster and quicker. You know, if you got to search for a specific name, it's a lot harder than just going, hey, they're on server A. He said, all right, I need to take a break. Man, you could have did that a long time ago, dude. Like, come on. But damn well, you're on this game way too much. That man's on this game like 16 hours a day. Just doing farming. He does nothing else but farming. I mean, you gotta really love farming to spend 16 hours a day in a video game just farming. And it's not even as intricate as like Farm Simulator is. You know? That's gotta be boring as shit. Yeah, I know. But that could change. That's what I'm saying. We talked about this already. That can change. I'm just hoping that they don't mess with that, right? That comes to fruition. I really want that to happen because I want my own servers. I do. You know, I did it in Rust. I do it here. I like having rules my way. So, like, no fucking toxicity in chat. Like, nobody in there just being assholes just to be assholes. I mean, I get people going to argue and fight. That's fine. I don't give a shit about that. But don't come in trolling people just to troll. Because I'm gonna kick you off the server. Because I don't want you ruining other people's gameplay. I don't want people to come into my server and be like, you know, it's not fun because people attack me every single time I come in. Now, if you're on a PvP server, that's going. If I get a PvP server, it's going to be free reign. The trolling's part of that. You want to make people angry and take them out their PvP game. But PvE, nah, you're not coming on here and trolling nobody. You want to do that shit? Go to one of the general servers. I'm not going to have that. Yeah, I know. But the devs might change their decision. Is what I'm saying. It might be too complicated for them to control. How, see, because if they have currency in the game, if they have stuff that you can buy in the game, with like you can buy it, how's that going to work on your thing? It's going to have to work kind of like Rust. There has to be a third party. You know, for Rust, that's what happens with Rust. They have a main store, but they don't have everything on the main store. But you can go on Steam's community store and buy everything that you need in Rust, right? But then it's personal. So, like, how are they going to control that? How are they going to make the money if people buy skins, if people buy this? They're going to have to tie all these servers somehow into it, and it might become too complicated for them to track all the private servers. I mean, Rust has over 30,000 private servers just in the modded section. Private servers, 30,000 people that own their own servers, and they can't control those servers at all. The server owners control them. Is it going to allow me to be able to... See, that's the other thing, too. Are admins who control the server, are they going to be allowed to give themselves items so they get to bust items all the time? Kind of fucked up if they do, right? Are they going to allow them to give themselves materials and build without having to go out and farm anything? Or are they going to allow... There's a lot involved in deciding how a server is going to run. And I don't know if these devs, when they did talk about it on the video... They were not specific about anything. They said they had plans to make purchasable purchasable servers, private servers for people. But they didn't say anything more about it, like how they're going to control it, how they're going to monitor those, how they're going to make them. And that's what I'm worried about, because an admin can effectively just, if he can give himself anything he wants, all he has to do is he can kill fucking everybody and blow up people's and delete bases and all that other, and just admin abuse the shit out of stuff. I just want to know what we're able and capable of doing. I do want to have the ability to be able to remove bases, though. I have to say that. Because what if someone comes on, builds this big-ass, ugly base, and then stops playing? Right? Now this base, currently, they have a timer that will get rid of bases if you're not on that server for a while. That definitely works. But I want the ability. Yeah, I know. But if I know this guy's not coming back, say the guy starts trouble on the server, right? Finds out I'm an admin, and tells me to go fuck myself, and I'm like, all right, you're done on the server because we're not going to have this on the server. And he leaves. I don't want to have to wait a week. I want the ability to be able to just delete his shit, right? Because I'm kicking him off the server anyway. I don't want his stuff lingering around. Or can we have the ability to make it rateable so that people on the server can go rate it and get materials from it then, right? Those are all things that I want to know how much control I have over the server. If it's just me buying a server and I don't have any control over it, I'm not buying a fucking server. I might as well play on the regular server. But I want to be able to keep my community a good community. You know, again, like just not toxicity, just not somebody being an asshole just to be an asshole. On a PvP server, if I did, again, like I said, if I pick up one of those, yeah, toxicity's part of that, and it's part of the PvP process. So I'm not going to say shit on that server, you know. But I don't want people sitting here griefing people on the, on the PvP or PvE server. Every time somebody logs on, somebody's talking shit to them so that they don't want to play on it. Because that makes me lose potential players. And then no one wants to play on my server because they know it's full of assholes. I'm an asshole and I'm a dick, like the way that I address things, but I'm not a bully asshole or a bully dick. I won't pick on nobody, I won't abuse nobody, and I don't want anybody else to do it. I want my players to have fun when they come on my server because it's a game. You want your players to have fun and not have to worry about all the drama that comes with, the normal trolling that sometimes happen. And definitely no racism. You want to talk about religion? Take that shit to a private chat. You want to talk about politics? Take that to a private chat. Don't spam that in general chat. We're here to play a game. We're not here to listen to politics, religion, or any of that type of bullshit that always gets people in a fight. I'm not saying you don't have a right to feel the way you feel about your political situations. You can feel any way you want to. But on the server, I don't want people talking about that stuff because it's not necessary. We talk about the game. Talk about the items we get in game. Talk about how we're going to beat the bosses or do the primal wars or shit like that. You start talking about politics, it literally has nothing to do with the game, and it only makes it uncomfortable for people who disagree with your politics. So no politics, no religion, no trolls just coming in to fuck with people. And those will be the 3 rules, and I'll keep it just at that. Everything else is cool. Everything else you can do. Keep those 3 things out of my server and you don't have no issues. If I see it pop up, I'm going to address it once. I'll give you a warning. Maybe I'll pick some moderators. If you're around, stop. Leave them Mexicans alone, bro. They work hard. Anyway, if you're around and I can trust you enough, you might be a moderator. Watching the chat, making sure people don't do no dumb shit. Paying attention. If somebody gets out of line, kicking them off the server so that we don't have them headaches. I don't work hard, lazy. Well, alright, whatever. Anyway, like I just, that's how I am. I'm not that type of person. I got friends around me and they're friends. I don't have black friends. I don't have white friends. They're just my friends. Whenever you hear somebody go, oh, I got a lot of Mexican friends or I got a lot of black friends, that motherfucker he's got some racial shit to him. Because your friends should just be your friends, right? Doesn't matter what color they are. They're your friends. That shit don't matter. Now, if you got to describe somebody to the police, that's different. But if I'm talking in general, you need to know whether my friends are black, white, Hispanic, or whatever. You don't need to know none of that. You know what I mean? You just need to know that they're my friends. You can listen to where I come from and how I talk. Like, I'm not privileged. I don't come from a privileged environment. I mean, I got privilege, but I don't come from it. So, I don't like shit like that. Like, I have people getting conversations like that, and I'm like, what? And they're like, yo, dude, you can't call me a racist because I got black friends. And I go, that's fucking racist right there that you had to describe your friends as a different color. Like, there was no need for you. They're just your friend. Why the fuck did you have to say that? Like, it don't make no sense to me. I laugh. I joke about that kind of stuff a lot because I find it very humorous when people start getting stuttered or stammering over the fact if they get called out. You know, the person may not be a racist at all, may have no racial bone in their body, but if you hit them with it, they'll try and explain. If they start justifying that shit, then you know. Like, you already know. They separate their friends and shit. Like, your friends ain't equal. My friends are all equal. I don't care who the fuck they are. And Philly's a melting pot, so where I come from, all the neighborhoods are mixed anyway for the most part. So you don't have a choice in who you want to like and who you don't want to like. You don't need a job if you're young, or if you're older and you're retired, or if you got injured and you're collecting. You don't need a job. I don't judge people on any of that shit, bro. You ain't got a job, you don't work, whatever. I don't care if you're 500 pounds or 50 pounds. None of that shit matters in the game. None of it. I mean, maybe the 500 pounds because you move a lot slower and you can't react. So, I don't want you on my team because you might not be able to swing that mouse as fast as I can. But I don't believe you. You trolling the fuck out of me right now. Stop. Although I know I know Latinos, they can be really racial against the mulattoes, right? So I've been exposed to that. My man, when he moved from Puerto Rico, he came to America, and I worked with him. His name Juan, and for some reason he didn't like black guys. Did not like black people. Has a whole opinion about black people, and I'm like, yo, bro, you're Spanish. Like, how can you be racist towards black people? It don't make no sense to me. But yeah, Latinos can be very racial when they want to be. Yeah, it's true. It's true. Like, don't think that's all right. I'm gonna talk about a subject that's funny. I find very funny. It's called stereotypes, right? So we have stereotypes like white people can't jump. That shit's not true. We got white people that can jump, or that we can't dance. I can fucking dance my ass off, so I know that's not a fact either. But like all black people like chicken and watermelon, or all Spanish people fucking, or all Mexicans they're into lawn care and pick fruit, and they're all fruit pick. That's all stereotypes, but there's truth to every stereotype. There is truth to every stereotype, but it's a small portion of the truth, right? Or it's a small portion of the stereotype, and then they just expand on it and apply it to everybody. It's all bullshit, right? It's all bullshit. Not every brother can't swim. Not every Mexican owns a fucking lawnmower. Not every fucking white guy can't dance, has a small dick, and I'm cursing now, so luckily I don't have to monetize shit. But not everybody. That's not true about everybody. So stereotypes are fucking rough, but there's a semblance of truth to all this. There's a reason why there's this stereotype, because at one point somebody saw that was something that people did, and so they made a stereotype out of it. Like the other stereotype, Asian people can't drive because they're always squinting, right? That's another stereotype that flows around in the communities. And every community has their own stereotypes, every one of them. Yeah, but see, there's a difference. There's a truth to that stereotype that you're talking about, right? But it's not all Mexicans. It's not all Puerto Ricans. It's not all African Americans. It's not all white people. It's not all Asians, right? Just because you see a portion of that society do something doesn't mean that everybody does that. Everybody knows how to do that, you know? So I don't know anything about stocks. I can't trade stock. I know the concept of it, but I'm white. I should know how to trade stocks, right? No, I don't know how to do that shit. I couldn't even tell you how to do that. I don't waste my money like that anyway. I don't gamble. I literally don't gamble. Part of it is because I'm Muslim, so I don't gamble. And that's probably why I don't like the wish machine too, because I look at it as gambling. But I don't do half of that shit. Right? And that's the issue that I have with that. Now, again, you can have a joke, right? Like, I don't take jokes seriously. You can have a joke about white people. You can have a joke about black people. You can have a joke about Mexicans. You can have a joke about Asians. You can have a joke about Latino in general. But when you start making that joke, that punchline, your truth, and you start pushing it onto other people, that's the racial shit that I don't get into that. Because there is a difference between being racial and racist, right? A racist is somebody who uses their race as something like, I'm better than you. That's a racist when they try to keep somebody else down. Somebody being racial can be proud of their race, walk around with a shirt that says I'm proud to be Mexican, or I'm proud to be this, or I'm proud to be that. There's nothing wrong with that. That's fine, right? That's not being a racist. There are differences there. You can be proud of who you are and where you come from. But if you're proud of who you are and where you come from at the expense of another race, that's when it's no longer racial and you become a racist. People don't really understand that. They just assume everybody's a fucking racist right from the door, and we'll call everybody a racist right from the door. Oh, you fucking racist. Why? Because I don't want to, because I get a little nervous. Like white people, you call a white person racist real quick. If you see a white person walking down the street and a bunch of brothers are walking by, white person like won't look, will keep his head down, will turn away for the most part, right? Now those are like, I would say like out of the suburban whites. Whites in the city don't do that shit. They don't drop, they're just as fucking ghetto as everybody else is. So there's no like intimidate, but you can have like that intimidation factor. A group of people walking by, you don't look at them. That's, and then you can see the guy. You know that he don't engage. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with him being afraid of a group of people. But would he be afraid if the same group of white people, the same amount of white people walk by him? Would he be the same way? And that's where you distinguish somebody who's racial and racist. Just being afraid of anybody in general, or being afraid of a group, there's nothing wrong with that. But if you distinguish between the two groups and you feel, and again, there's nothing wrong with being more comfortable around your own people either, like the people that you consider your own people, that look like you, that talk like you, that act like you, right? There's nothing wrong with that either. So that could be there too. That's not really being racist. It's just being comfortable around your people. It's not a big deal. It's not a big deal. There's nothing to snap on somebody about, nothing to talk shit to anybody. Yeah. That's. I mean, I'm not like, I just read what you wrote. I'm sorry, bro, because I was just rambling. I don't care how somebody is, right? Like you can be the biggest racist in the fucking world. I wouldn't really know unless you projected that, right? So I'm not prejudging anybody. I can care less, right? You come in and play the video game. I don't know what the fuck you are anyway. I don't even know if you're a male or a female, or if you consider yourself both, or you consider yourself none, or whatever the fuck that shit is that goes on now. I don't even care, because you're playing a video game. We're just characters in the game. It's when you engage in conversations. It's when you start talking to people, and not even this tech stuff. Like, I'm talking, so you can hear how I'm talking. I'm more expressive. You can basically tell if I'm being sarcastic or an asshole, or if I mean something. It's a little bit harder when you're texting back and forth to distinguish someone's personality, even through the text. You might get a little bit of it, but it's easier to misinterpret what they're saying. So that's how I look at everybody in video games. You're just a character in a video game. I'm cool with you. I'll talk to you, but I can't judge you, and I don't know you. So who am I? Until you start flapping your gums, until you start popping off and saying dumb shit, then I don't know what type of person you are. You know, because I know a lot of assholes. I mean, I'm an asshole myself. You say something to me, I might come back with something that you might not like, because that's how I handle shit. Like I'm direct, very direct. You ask me an honest answer, I'm gonna give you you ask me an honest question, I'm gonna give you an honest answer. You may not like the answer that you get, but I'm never gonna lie to you or try and steer around your personal feelings, because I really don't give a fuck about feelings. Your feelings don't matter when you're asking me a question. You may want to hear me say something different, but that don't matter, right? Your truth is your truth. And that's how I want people to be around me. That's why I play solo a lot, because it's very hard to find people who are very honest about who they are. I'm 100. You ask me a question, I have no problem answering it. I'll tell you anything if I know you, right? I'll tell you anything you want to know about me. But if you ask me something that I don't agree with, or I don't mind if you live that lifestyle. Say you live a different type of lifestyle. Say you're gay. I'll just say gay, homosexual, right? Say you're gay. I personally would never be gay. I'm not attracted to men. That's just me. But I don't give a fuck whether you are. You can be attracted to men all day. And who am I to sit there and say something to you? Now, if you ask me if I think your lifestyle is the lifestyle that I would live, I would tell you no. I don't approve of it. I don't think it's cool. But that has nothing to do with you as a person, right? You just asked me a question. I just gave you an honest answer. If you think you can judge me because I feel that way, why? I'm not bothered by how you want to live. I'm not bothering you. I'm not saying nothing to you. You just asked me a question. You asked me how I felt about a subject. And what did I just tell you about feelings? Feelings don't fucking matter. The truth does. So you don't have to listen to my feelings at all. You just got to live your truth. I live my truth. You live your truth. As long as we don't have that that's how I like my friends around me. All my friends are like that. They just speak the truth no matter what. They don't lie. They don't talk some shit. I mean, there's a little white lies and stupid stuff that you tell people, but I'm talking about like big shit. We don't get into that, because the more honest you are, the more you can trust a person. And that I've lived my life like that my whole life. My whole life. Yeah, exactly. But they don't know who you are, and that's what I'm saying. Like, they can't. People online, they read what they want to read, right? So they're just going to see what they read. They don't know you. They don't know in the manner that you're actually joking around. They don't know you. They don't know how you joke. They'll just read that and they'll think you're being an asshole because they want to suck up to Sonny, so they want to blast you for saying something to Sonny jokingly, right? They don't even know they don't even know that Sonny knows you're joking, right? And you guys are cool with that. So they'll just chime in and say the stupid shit because they think Sonny's being insulted and I'm going to protect him. Like, come on. You can't go by what you see in text most of the time, because you can't interpret somebody's meaning or feelings in that, right? You don't know what they're trying to say, really. They may be trying to say something good, but just don't have the right words to use in order to say it, or forgot the word, so they're like, they jumble a bunch of words that kind of mean something similar. You misinterpret what they're saying. It happens all the time. That's why if I get a text over on my smartphone, which is still called a fucking phone for a reason. If I get a text on my phone, I text back, call me, right? I don't like texting. One, I definitely don't like leaving behind a trail of the shit that I say. I don't want anybody down the line later on to use the things that I type in text against me. Two, it's very impersonal, and I'd rather hear your voice and the inflections in your voice and shit like that, so I know what you're trying to say, or if you're joking, or if you're trying to be flirty, or whatever it is. You know what I mean? That's how that should be. That's how that should be. That texting shit is too impersonal. Shit gets misinterpreted all the time. People joke even in text, and people take it the wrong way. And next thing you know, friendships are ruined. You might know that dude for 20-some years and now hate him because he said some stupid shit. I mean, I lost a lot of friends during the last election, the one before this last one, because I didn't like one of the candidates. I thought he was an asshole. I met the man in person and can say he was an asshole. I'm a Teamster, and he ripped off our union and money. So I had, and this was back in the early '90s. So I had personal reasons not to like dude, but I had family members who liked him, and they would say shit, and I couldn't talk. I would say, yo, what? How the fuck can you like him? I have family down in Florida. They're all fucking Cuban and Puerto Rican, right? So, and they liked him. And I'm like, how the fuck can you as a Latino like this dude? Like, how can you like him as a Latino with all the shit he said about Latinos? Like, come on. Like, how can you like him? And I never could understand it. But I'm not Latino, so I can't understand where they're coming from and where they live and what they got to deal with and all that other bullshit. So I can't understand that, right? That's family and all, but and it's family I knew all my life. But I lost touch with them because I was like, you guys are fucking assholes if you vote for dude. Like, I got into that stupid political shit. That's why I don't like politics right now. And I promised myself during the last election, and even this one right now, there ain't nothing on my Facebook page. There's nothing on my YouTube. You won't see anything about politics on my shit. You won't, because I don't address it, and I don't want to lose possibly a really good friend or family members just over somebody that I think is a douchebag, right? And I did that shit, and I really did. Like, I cut people off, people that I knew for years, 20 plus years, cut them off. Told them, fuck out of here. I don't want to hear your bullshit. You know, because I had my opinion, and it was really strong, and I'm aggressive with my opinion. At least back then. I've learned to control that shit now because I lost too much with that. I lost too many connections that I really, really were dear to me. And it's fucked up. I don't know how we do that as a society, but we continue to do it all the time. Push each other away on some bullshit. And then later down the line, we regret it. But some people harbor those ill feelings. Just because we don't agree don't mean that we can't coexist. You know? That's my biggest thing. Live and let be. I'll say it a million times. Live and let be. You ain't got to worry about somebody else's lifestyle if it's not affecting yours. If it affects your lifestyle, then you have a right to speak on it. But until it affects you, you ain't got no right to speak on that shit. Let them be. Let them alone. People ain't messing with my money, my family, or my future. I don't care what they do. Go ahead. Do you. All day long. We can go have a beer. We can sit there and bullshit all day long. We can joke and laugh. As long as you don't get into that dumb shit that I don't agree with, and I don't get into the dumb shit you don't agree with, we're golden. Yeah. There's nothing wrong with that. I don't want you to misinterpret that. Like, I can't take a joke, because I can take a joke. I know when something's being a joke. I know when something's a joke, right? Right, and that's the thing. You should be able to talk to your friends about all kinds of shit without it getting to a point where you're at each other's throats. But again, I was texting with these people. I was on social media with them. I wasn't talking to them personally. I wasn't engaging in the conversation. Because, the conversation would have been completely different had I been engaged in face-to-face, right? Most people won't. A lot of people like to say shit online because they have anonymity and they're protected. Most people won't talk that shit in person. So conversations that I have never go that way, because people know if I'm getting upset, stop talking about it, and we won't have that. We won't have an issue, right? And then you don't. But when you're online texting each other, no one seems to know when to stop sometimes, and you just continue to do it. So you can really lose friendships that way because you misinterpret what they say, or you just don't like what they said. In person, people show a little bit more respect, have a little bit more, personal accountability for the shit that they say, so they watch what they say a little bit more. You know, you can get some real racist shit being said in text. 100 to 1 says that asshole that's doing all that online doesn't do that in the neighborhood that he's talking about. I'll tell you, plenty of times I've seen white people fucking throw out racial shit about Philadelphia and the crime and all that other stuff. And then I say, all I have to say is, well, if you don't like those people that you say, those people, and I'll put it in quotations, then go to that neighborhood and let them know. And they're all like, what, are you crazy? Yeah, exactly. If you're not brave enough to stand behind what you say, then why even say it? Why even say it? If you couldn't handle the confrontation from another person about what you say, then don't say it. If you're worried about, the consequences of that, why are you saying it? You're only saying it because you're on a keyboard and you got them little fucking Twitter fingers going, and you think you're tough online because you've been working out your fingers. That shit don't work in real life. It doesn't. And it really is all where you come from. I mean, if you come from a racist environment and everybody that is racist, and you're all, your whole community is fucking white, yeah, you'll talk a lot of racial shit in that community, but you wouldn't do that in the community that you're talking about. And that's where I don't like that shit. That's why I say that type of stuff. I know a lot of Mexican people that like Trump, but do you think Trump would go to Mexico, in front of tens of thousands of Mexicans and tell Mexicans that they ain't shit and they're all criminals? Do you think he would do it? He ain't doing that. He did that from the safety of a television and surrounded by his own crowd. So that's what I'm saying. Like, and I'm not using it as an example for people to hate Trump. You vote, you can like him if you want to. All I'm saying is he won't do that shit and say that shit directly to someone's face. So that's the type of shit that I don't care for. Oh yeah, it's great to be around people that understand that. I understood what you were saying. I hope I didn't misinterpret what you were saying, but I understand. Or at least I thought I did. Yeah, it's great to be around people like that. It is. People who can take a joke. People who can joke. People who have a sense of humor and know not everything is serious all the time. But there's a big difference between joking around and then straight up trying to talk about politics or religion or any of that shit. Because those camps are so far apart from each other that even if you try to joke, someone's always going to take it the wrong way, right? Like with your friends, that's cool. I'm talking about online now, right? Your friends, your friends, so you can joke with them about whatever. But I'm talking about online. Someone's always going to take it the wrong way if you joke. So I'm very careful about how I present myself online. I'm just truthful. As truthful as I can be. And I don't go out of my way to cause people to feel uncomfortable unless it deserves that. So that's just how I think everybody should be. Then you don't have all these problems that everybody worried about everybody else. Like, what the fuck you worried about my life for? It ain't yours. It ain't hurting you. I wish everybody can have that philosophy. You ain't bothering me. I'm not bothering you. We're cool. The minute you interrupt my shit, then we have an issue and we can address it then. But until then, let's go get a beer. Let's go get a couple drinks. Let's go out and have some fun. Let's go party or something like that. That's just the type of person I am. I accept everybody from the door. I don't give a fuck who you are. Just don't ask me shit. No personal shit. Don't ask me to address your lifestyle, because then you're opening up the door for shit you may not want to hear. And I don't really want to say it. I just want to be cool. All right, enough of that, because I'm talking too much shit now. That's too much. Let's get back to figuring out if we're all gonna get fucked in the eternal lands or not. I think we are. I think something bad's gonna happen. I'm worried about it because if we got a time limit and then we do break everything down, like storing half of it now, it was probably cool just to see if it worked. But what if we drop everything in there and then something happens? Again, I didn't expect to have anything anyway, so for me it's okay if we lose everything. I'm not going to cry about it. But for others, it's going to hurt them. Oh, shit. Eternal lands, eternal lands. All right, bro. Yeah, talking's always a good thing. I mean, I always enjoy a good conversation as long as it stays civil and there's not no kind of like bullshit with it. Game wants to kill my character, it can do it. I don't know, man. I invested a lot of time. Yeah, that's what I feel the same way. I'm just bullshitting. I feel the same way. The game wants to screw everything up. It ain't gonna hurt me none really. I'm just gonna do everything I just did this time and get everything I want to get. All right, I'm gonna get off too and be done streaming. For anybody who's watching, I really do appreciate you joining. For anybody who subbed or not subbed, but who followed, I appreciate you. Have a good night. I wish you all the best. Be safe, and maybe see you tomorrow if you care to watch me talk about all kinds of dumb shit and play a video game. All right, peace, everyone. Have a good night. I'm out.